Students, should I discuss Rie's Holder's inequality? Let P and Q be non-negative external real numbers such that 1 by P and 1 plus 1 by Q is equal to 1. Here P and Q are conjugate real numbers, real positive numbers. If F belongs to norm P or Lewis group norm P in the interval cross interval AB, and G also belongs to norm Q or Lewis group norm Q in the closed interval AB, then we have also F into G belongs to L1 norm 1 or Lewis group norm 1 in the closed interval AB, and we have this inequality. This is the Holder's inequality. Here is the Holder's inequality. Integration from A to B mod of fg less than equal to norm of f p and norm of g q. So their order is p and q, norms order p and q. So equality holds if and only if for some constants a and b, we have a mod of a to the power p and b mod of q to the power q almost everywhere. If this condition satisfies, then equality holds, otherwise their works less than. So one condition, these two side can be equal. Now we have the proof. We first take that when p is equal to 1 and q is equal to infinity, if we look this condition, if p is equal to 1, then q must be tending to infinity. So if p is equal to 1 and q is equal to infinity, so q norm g's norms order equal to infinity means it will be supremum, and p is equal to 1, then this will be norm f and this will be an infinite norm. So less than this inequality works actually. So this is trivial for p is equal to 1 and q is equal to infinity. So if we reversely take q is equal to 1 and p is equal to infinity, then also we will get the same result. It means that less than equal to is trivially true. But we assume that just for cases when p belongs to 1 to infinity and consequently q belongs to 1 to infinity. For these two cases, we will just verify this real is true or not. Since p is equal to 1 and q is equal to 1, this is true. Now the inequality is trivial for if f is equal to 0 almost everywhere and g is equal to g almost everywhere. If f is equal to 0 or g is equal to 0, then both sides will be 0, so equal to here holds, so this is true. So this inequality actually true for f is equal to 0 or g is equal to 0 for almost everywhere. So we assume that f not equal to 0 and g not equal to 0, which implies that norm of f order p greater than 0, norm of any function must be greater than 0, and norm of g greater than equal to 0. So you know that if this is a very important point, let lambda belongs to 0 to 1, then we have a layer that this is true. Alpha to the power lambda, beta to the power 1 minus lambda less than equal to lambda alpha plus 1 minus lambda beta. We have given this equation 1. It is actually true for all non-negative pair of real numbers alpha beta, and equal to holds if alpha is equal to beta, otherwise always less than works. So now we will go take let lambda is equal to 1 by p and 1 minus lambda is equal to 1 by q, and we will take here alpha is equal to mod of ft by norm of af order p to whole to the power p, and beta we will take mod of gt by norm of g of order q, g of order q whole to the power q. If we take in this way and then put these values in equation 1, we will get such a relation. From 1 we have alpha to the power 1 by p. Just I have put in lambda's value. Alpha will be 1 by p and beta alpha to the power 1 by p multiply beta to the power 1 by q less than equal to alpha by p plus beta by q. Now if we put alpha and beta's value, then it will be mod of ft mod of gt norm of f order p norm of g order q less than equal to 1 by p mod of ft by norm of f order p whole to the power p. This is alpha's value, and here 1 by q mod of gt norm of g order q to the whole to the power g. Now if we keep mod of ft and gt in left side and we multiply with norm of p norm of f order p and norm of g order q with both sides, then we will get such a relation 1 by p mod of ft to the power p and norm of f p and norm of g order q by norm of f order p whole to the power p and 1 by q mod of gt whole to the power q norm of a power p norm of g power order q norm of g order q whole to the power q. This can be written if we take the power q, then it can be written. Now if we integrate both the sides, then we will get the left hand side, we will get the Holder's inequality left hand side. This will be less than equal to 1 by p. Actually this after integrating we will get norm of f order p whole to the power p and the rest one, and here we will get, if integrate this in the interval ab, we will get norm of gt order g order q whole to the power q, so and the rest one. So this and this terms cancels each other and we will get just simply 1 by p norm of f order p and norm of q order q norm of g order q plus 1 by q norm of f order p into norm of g order q. If we take common these two, then we will get simply in bracket 1 by p plus 1 by q, which is equal to 1. So just this remains. So this is the Holder's inequality, and this is true for p less than p greater than 1 and any finite value, any maximum finite value not equal to infinity, but any finite value if p ranges from 1 to infinity. Actually I have already proved that p is equal to 1 and p is equal to infinity. This is actually true. I have already trivially true. So just I have verified for p ranging from 1 to infinity, then this is true or not. So I have found that this is true. So this concludes that Holder's inequality exists and it is trivially true for 1 less than equal to p less than equal to infinity.